Welcome to Montana Rodmakers Guild. I'm Ric Plante. Today I want to go over on how to change an anvil on the bamboo hand plane. When you get your bamboo hand plane, it actually comes with 4 anvils. It comes with a rough butt, a rough tip, a finished butt, and a finished tip anvil. Right now, the last rod I made, I have a finished anvil on here, so I need to change it to a roughing anvil. You do not need a power rougher, power beveler. You can make an entire rod on the bamboo hand plane. That's one of the things that's great about it. Not only that, I can set my taper as I do my roughing, unlike a lot of power bevelers that cut straight. I can cut my taper on here and get a good head start on my finished planing. All right, so the anvils have 26 hold down positions. There's actually 2 ways to remove the anvil. One is I can simply go from underneath and I can remove all 26 screws. So that's one way. I like to do it another way. So what I do is, there are 7 screws that connect the base to your angled mounting bracket. So what I do is I remove the 7 screws, and it helps to have a rolling desk chair. Now that I've removed the 7 screws, I can simply take the base, put it on my workbench. You can see I have easy access to all those 26 screws. So I'm just going to take them out, and then I'll put my roughing anvil on. All right, I got a couple more to go here. All right, so I've removed all 26 screws for my anvil. Now, to simply mount the next one, first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the bottom is clean. And I just use the palm of my hand. You don't want any debris to interfere with the anvil and the adjustable bed. So now I'm just going to take my hand, I'm going to run it along the adjustable bed, make sure it's clean as well. Again, we don't want any debris to interfere. When mounting the anvil, start at one end, and as I put them in, I am not going to tighten them all the way. What I'll do is, as I go back, once I get them all in, then I'll go back and I'll snug them all up. And they don't need to be super tight. When planing, all the pressure is down. There's a reason why we don't supply you with any T-wrenches, because we don't want you to over tighten anything. There's really no reason for that. One thing about the anvils, they are made of HDPE plastic, and it's very heat sensitive. So if your shop is cold, let's say it's 60 degrees, these were probably drilled out, I want to say, when the shop was around 68 degrees. If your shop is 60 degrees, the HDPE may have shrank a little bit. All you have to do is simply use your heat gun or a hair dryer, heat it up a little bit, and it will expand and the screws will go right in. On the other side, if your shop is really hot and the anvil has expanded, you may have to cool it off. A couple ways to do that. One is you could do your mounting early in the morning or maybe in the evening when the air temperature has cooled. Or you could simply take a damp cloth or sponge with cold water, put it over the anvil, and it will actually shrink back down and the holes will line up. All the holes were drilled using a jig, so they are set at 2.5 inches. So if they don't fit, it's because either it's too hot or it's too cold, and either it has expanded or contracted. Okay, so I got 2 more to go here. Now that I've inserted all the screws, I'm just going to go back. And again, you don't want to over tighten these. Just finger tight. I use 2 fingers. I'm going to tighten each one, all 26. And you don't want to over tighten. If you over tighten, you could actually pull the brass insert out of the plastic. It's been heat pressed in, but again, that's why we don't give you T-wrenches. There's no reason to over tighten these. Okay, I've secured the anvil to the adjustable bed. Now all I'm going to do is make sure again that the base is clean, that my mounting bracket is clean. Now all I have to do is take the base, put it back on, and again attach it with the 7 screws. I get asked all the time, how long will an anvil last? If you take care of it, right, they will last you a lifetime. A friend of mine has made over 120 bamboo fly rods, and he's never had to replace an anvil. If you take time to change them out when you should, right? Change from a finish anvil to a roughing anvil, so you're not using the wrong anvil at the time, they'll last you a long time. Another thing I recommend when you do change them out, for instance, I've put on a roughing anvil, I'm going to do a batch of strips. I'm going to do enough strips for probably 3 or 4 rods. That way I don't have to change them as often, okay? But if you take care of them, they'll last you a lifetime. If you have any questions about changing an anvil, feel free to give me a call here at the Montana Rodmakers Guild.